Remember, everything we eat and drink, everything we breathe, everything we put on our skin is either supporting health or feeding disease. So let's uncover some facts here. Germs, chemicals, and toxins are everywhere. We can't avoid them, but we can control what comes into our own home. You might be familiar with the work of Dr. Doris Rapp. She's written several books about how different things affect children, handwriting can reveal allergies, and so forth. And she has a quote here which I want to share with you. She says, "We are trying to keep things clean with the very chemicals that make us sick." That is so true. In her book called Is This Your Child's World?, she tells a story about how disinfectant affects a 4-year-old boy named Ryan. And this is what she says. "We sprayed a 4-inch spot of disinfectant onto a paper towel and placed it a few feet away from him. In 30 minutes, Ryan was obviously different. He could no longer hold a pencil. He clung excessively to his mother, whined, and appeared exhausted. His symptoms were relieved in only a few minutes with oxygen." And she actually shows a picture of his writing during this exposure. Hey guys, this is just from breathing a disinfectant. Look at this. During the exposure, he was whining, he was crying, he was tired, and you can see how his writing definitely changed. And then after oxygen was put into the air to clear the air, it went back to basically normal. And then you can see his drawing. During exposure, his drawing, how erratic it became. He was sniffing, he was thirsty, he was whining during the exposure. And once again, this is just from breathing a disinfectant. So if it has the ability to affect your child in ways like that, why do you want it in your house? This is an actual picture from my friend who did not know the danger of Clorox bleach, and he cleaned the floor with it. This is the result of that. He didn't use any gloves. He got this on his hands and on his feet. And the result was a $100 trip to the doctor, money for prescriptions, and several weeks to heal, and lots of pain. The good news is you don't have to have this stuff in your house. Yes, I had it in my house, but when I read this kind of stuff and started learning, I completely got rid of it. Look at these. This is straight from a government website talking about effects of cleaners and other products. Gastrointestinal irritation, severe corrosive injuries to the mouth, throat, esophagus, and stomach with bleeding, perforation, and eventually death. Yes, it does say death. Permanent scars and narrowing of the esophagus may occur in survivors of severe intoxication. Also nasal irritation, sore throat, coughing. And the last statement, we do not know if exposure to chlorine can result in reproductive efforts. That is a scary statement. And this is taken straight from the government website called what'sinproducts.com. So the good news is there is a safe alternative that I found. Instead of using Clorox for my brightener, I switched to Shaklee's Nature Bright. It uses natural enzymes and active oxygen to rebrighten the laundry, to destain upholstery, and do all kinds of things. I just plain call it nice. It just works. And here are some examples of how it works. One of my friends sent me the picture on the left. She had blood on a skirt that had been there for quite a while, and she had given up actually on getting it out. She put it in Nature Bright, washed it, and this is the result. It came out. And then on the right, that's a personal story. The white dress is actually my personal dress when I was a little bitty baby. My mom had saved that, and when I discovered it, it was already over 50 years old. It was yellowed, and so I thought, what can I do to clean that? So I made a big concoction of the Shaklee Basic H, the Nature Bright, the Fresh Laundry Liquid, put it in a 5-gallon bucket, stirred it up, and just dropped this little dress in it. First of all, I knew it would not eat it up like Clorox would, all righty? So I just dropped it in there, forgot about it. A few days later, I went back and checked it, pulled it out, and it was perfectly white. So then I decided to put my own personal baby dress onto one of my baby dolls that I also had saved. So that's the actual picture right there, all nice and bright. Now for a germicide, I switched to Shaklee's Basic G, and Dr. Rapp actually suggests that the Shaklee Basic G is a safe alternative to the disinfectants out there. It kills germs, it's highly concentrated. Actually, it has a neutral pH, and that's really important for the skin and for all kinds of things. It disinfects, it cleans, it deodorizes, and yes, it can be used against SARS-CoV-2, which is a novel coronavirus. So I guess by now you're starting to get the real dirt on clean, and yes, it is a myth that if it's on the shelf, it is safe. So as we move